Hello YouTube fam, it's Rumpley here, and I'm playing what I would like to call Rank Up Burn. Basically, it's a burn deck with 0 rares, by the way, 0 rares, 0 mythics, that uses the powerful burn that we have in the format here, and call in a professional lightning strike and play with fire to get in much needed reach, with the addition also of creatures that provide value when we cast an instant or sorcery spell in Kessic Flame Breather or in Thermal Alchemist, so it kind of charges up, supercharges our burn. And also we're playing cheap creatures or effects that draw us more cards, essentially, with Reinforced Ronin, Phoenix Chick, and Kumano Faces Kakazan. The experimental synthesizer in here might look a little weird, considering that this is a deck that really leverages instants and sorceries, at least with Thermal Alchemist. But Kessic Flame Breather only really cares that it's a non-creature spell, so it does still sort of synergize there, just not with the Thermal Alchemist. With that being said, the whole idea of this deck is to try to get as many games in as possible to rank up as fast as possible, while doing it as cheaply as possible, as you can see with 0 rares or mythic. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we're here. We have 3 lands, 4 spells. We have a creature to play on turn 2. I think we're going to keep it. And we are going to cast this Play with Fire. Make sure we don't scry any lands to the top. Reckless Impulse is a good draw. Gonna just put our Flame Breather onto the battlefield here and get bonus damage out of our spells. Next turn's likely gonna start with a Reckless Impulse. Okay, so their pup's gonna grow. Yeah, we'll deal damage here with the Impulse. So we can play these cards till the end of our next turn. So I think we're going to play that Synthesizer next turn, and we're going to actually get a damage in with this Kessic Flame Breather via attack. I know they're going to gain life, but I think the upside of being able to attack is a lot higher than them growing that Paxong Pup into something that is going to stop all offensives of ours later in the game. Okay, so every time we cast our second spell of the turn, they're gonna get a 2/2 wolf. So we have to be cognizant of that. Hit a land, and I think, yeah, we're gonna just pass the turn, and we're gonna hit them with Call in a Professional at the end of their turn, or at any time they try to gain life, so that way they don't get a 2/2 wolf creature token. Jewel Thief, okay. So that means we're probably done attacking with their Kessic Flame Breather. But not really meant for attacking. We got our 2 damage in with him. Wolf coming in. Maybe. Yeah, we're just taking damage. Alright, pumping the wolf, okay. Gonna deal damage to him with the Call in a Professional. Down to 11. I think I'm gonna start with the Synthesizer. Probably going to end up giving them a wolf here, but we'll see how it goes. These Kakazans are each worth 2 damage, so I think we're good to have them do their thing. So we have 4 damage in pocket here. If we draw any burn spell, we kill them, so long as they don't gain life this turn. They don't have that many life gain effects in mono green werewolves. But they're going to bring an alpha attack here, I suspect. We're not blocking. Need that damage. They're still contemplating whether or not to want to attack with everybody or not. Maybe they didn't know they had the priority from the Snarling Wolf. Okay, we're still not dead unless they have a second one. Okay. Sometimes you get got by the double pump spell. Okay, our opponent's going first, and this hand looks pretty ideal. We're going to keep it. We're going to lead with a Phoenix Chick, probably. Yep, we're going to lead with a Phoenix Chick. If we're casting Thermal Alchemist next turn, it'll have done 2 damage over 2 turns, where Ronan will have done 2 damage over 2 turns, but then we have a Phoenix Chick left over. And if Ronan's still not good at the end of this, then we will just cycle it. Opponent is a Llanowar Loam Speaker. Getting a ramp on. Blue, green, ramp of some sort. See how they do against aggro. Oh, they're really leaning into the ramp. Okay. Left 2 on top. Gonna put a land into play if that's the case. It's almost assuredly. Deciding what they want to put into play. Just a forest. Thinking about casting another spell here. Or about attacking with the 3/3. Definitely both possible. Another Loam Speaker. Okay. So they're getting the ramp on pretty much regardless. I don't think us killing a Loam Speaker is going to change anything. They would have access to 7 mana next turn, which means they could cast Titan of Industry. But quite frankly, if they cast a Titan of Industry while they're at something in the neighborhood of 14 life, we're dead anyway. So yes, we're just going to load up on the creatures that deal 1 damage per turn. We're just going to do that so we can pass priority. Let's see what their payoff is here. If they have something really good that we're on the play, it's probably going to get us here. We're looking to draw cheap burn. Okay, they have a Roaring Earth. That's a landfall enchantment, essentially. And just a Jewel Thief. Not the payoff I'm sure they were really hoping they would land when they did all that ramping. Not even a land in hand, so they don't even get the +1/+1 from Roaring Earth. Yeah, we're going to cast our Reckless Impulse here. With these triggers on the stack, we're going to activate our Thermal Alchemists. Yep, and we're going to just cast this play with fire now while they're tapped out. Don't think we're using this on any creatures. Just going to get our damage while we can. Let's see, we're going to scry lands to the bottom here. they're looking at my creatures with their 2 mana. Maybe they have Bite Down or something. We'll see. So we have our opponent effectively at 5 before they gain that life, so their opponent's effectively at 6. And with this Calling a Professional, we're looking pretty good. Okay, they have the Caretaker here, which really pumps up their creatures, but doesn't do anything to get them out of the burn situation. Gonna make a big Jewel Thief here, but it doesn't have lifelink. They would really like it if it did. They have this treasure they really are holding on to and looking at, considering casting something with. Not really sure what they would have for 1 mana. Could be a Fading Hope. Be somewhat of an interesting deck construction with the Fading Hope, but that does look like what they have. I couldn't figure out the read on that for a long time, but that's indeed what they have. But we still have 1 damage on the stack. Damage in the air, and this is lethal. GG. All right, beating ramp. On to the next one. Sigvalin. That's our opponent. Okay. Hand here is kind of low on impact creatures, but it got the Kumano and got the experimental synthesis to cycle. So we're on the draw. I think we'll keep. It's a close one. Oh, Casting Flame Breather is exactly what this hand wanted. Basically fixes our hand up perfectly. We wanted a 2-drop that we could play to take advantage of with our synthesizers, and that was a perfect draw for us. Gives us some a counter to put on this Casting Flame Breather, which is good against our opponent's lightning strikes as well. Look for our opponent to have a similar game plan as us. They're casting spells and getting +1 damage. It's really similar to what Casting Flame Breather is doing. Flame Breather is doing, rather. Cycling. It's going to be a race here, folks. It's going to be a race. Only instant and sorcery spells for the +1/+1 counters. No attacks. That is very interesting. I would say that gives us a chance to draw a lightning strike here off of this experimental synthesizer. Land instead. So that means I think we're going to play this Thermal Alchemist. And just pass the turn, and our creatures are going to stare at each other in a mono-red matchup. Incredible. They're looking to play a creature here to take advantage of that Kakazan. Let's see what they got. Looking at my creatures, looks like they might have a lightning strike in hand, something that can deal 3 damage by the looks of their hovering over the Alchemist. Hover with a synthesizer as well. You can really gain a lot of information in Arena by just observing what your opponent does. Similar to paper. And in paper Magic, watching your opponent's ticks and why they sequenced the way they did, you can get a lot of information from that. Opponent in the tank. They decide Etching of Kumano is their biggest threat to deal with. Okay. A Braid, they could have killed our synthesizer too. I think they made the right choice in not doing that, but something they could have done. We're going to just throw another synthesizer out here. Deal more damage. Another land. Wow, we're really good at hitting the lands off of our synthesizers. So nothing to do here. Just going to be pinging them with their Alchemists. Alchemists, pretty good at blocking Etchings of Kumano. Only downside is a play with fire or something of that ilk. 1 mana, deal 2 damage, could take out our alchemists. But I think that's a trade we're willing to make. Reckless Impulse, okay. Let's see it. Got another Kakazan and a Mountain. Chooses to play the Phoenix Chick from hand. Now we're coming in with the attack. Okay. We'll make this block. Opponent gave us a free Kakazan there. Let's activate this synthesizer. Reckless Impulse, okay. Get our Alchemist triggers and our Flame Breather triggers. Play with Fire is a really good thing we can play next turn. We'll get a lot of damage in with these triggers next turn. So this Play with Fire will trigger these 3, so that's worth 5 damage next turn. In addition to the 2 natively from the Thermal Alchemist, 1 more for the Kakazan, plus the burn, and that is exactly 9 if they were able to block both my creatures. They knew it was over. Alrighty, so our opponent has taken a mulligan, and this hand looks great. This is exactly what we're looking for. See if our opponent has any more mulligans here. Cool sleeves though. Some hammers. Hammer and anvil. Nice design. I'm not really sure what these sleeves are from, but just, you know, the magic symbol through a stained glass heart lens. Thought it was pretty nifty. I should really up my sleeve game too, and my pet game too. I mean, I'm empty, you know. Just the 1 mulligan for our opponent, and they're off to the starting blocks first. Just a tap land. We're gonna play this Kakazan. And we're gonna play Phoenix Chick into Kakazan next turn to take advantage of that +1/+1 counter with haste, and also so that when with these Kakazan flip, they're more likely to not run into blockers. Next turn, probably Kessev Flame Breather and pass, unless I draw. Play with Fire would be a great draw. Phoenix Chick would be a solid draw. I need 1 mana haste creature, so I'd be Reinforced Ronin as well would be a good draw. Infernal Grasp on the Chick, okay. Land, not a great draw. We're gonna just get our value, get the counter on the Flame Breather, and leave us up our Synthesizer next turn, so that way we can hit a Call in a Professional off of it and cast it if need be. Because otherwise we had hit Call in Professional this turn, by playing Synthesizer we'd not have been able to get any value off of it. Or they discard cards to get value. It's not looking good for our opponent here. We're just pouring in the damage, and they're playing Do Nothing enchantments. A lot of damage. Math is for your life total. My Ronin in the pocket next turn. See what they got. Has to be a sweeper here to survive. They don't have it. Rank up burn. Okay, we're on the play. And the hand looks great. Turn 1 Phoenix Chick, turn 2 Flame Breather. Not exactly 100% sure which one you should play first, but I think it's Flame Breather because it has more use cases with our 1-mana artifact, and it also can attack. Yes. Yep. I think I'm gonna stay there. They're the same if you have multiple damage dealing effects. Although if I had led off with the Thermal Alchemist, that could mean I could get value off the Play with Fire earlier, which is certainly a consideration. But we get bailed out by drawing the Phoenix Chick that we want to cast anyway. And next turn, it's all about the burn, baby, burn. 3 life back is a big chunk, and they're ramped already. Opponent's actually looking in a good spot. Azusa is not a card we love to see from this side of the table. Okay, Jewel Thief. Let's get in with our Phoenix Chick. Duo. They have flying. So we cast this Lightning Strike right now. We obviously kill their creature and we save a damage. And then the Phoenix Strike just has to live for 2 more turns for it to be worth it, plus killing the creature. I think that is worth it. I think we're gonna kill this in response. We'll use the Play with Fire here to grind us something. Really looking for a Reckless Impulse or a experimental. I want to say Experimental Frenzy, but that's not the card name. I'm blanking on the card name right now. Don't want the lands, certainly. Defiler of Vigor. Nothing with reach over there, though. So we're going to get in with our 1/1s. We have 3 damage a turn. Not sure it's going to be fast enough. We're going to need to draw something good. Calling a Professional will be an excellent draw next turn. Really, any damage dealing spell or card draw spell would be perfect. We really wanted it this turn, but we didn't get there. And I think we're dead next turn, so definitely going to need to draw it this turn. Phoenix Chick. It's likely we're dead this turn. Let's see what they have. Oh, super dead. Double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn. Dang, we need to not just draw double land in those turns. GG's. Okay, 1-lander, huh? Reckless Impulse and Experimental Synthesizer. We have Kumano on 1, Chick on 2. I think we're going to keep any land in this hand, becomes pretty excellent. About 1 and 3 to draw a land next turn. So we're not really expecting to draw a land next turn, but in the next 2 turns, and wow, we are doing it. Excellent draw here. It's about the best draw on the deck. We got very rewarded for our somewhat greedy keep. Planning to cast this Play with Fire at the end of the turn, hopefully at them, but maybe at a creature. Let's see what they have in their blue-white deck. Jacob Hawken. Is that worth killing? Probably. But we don't have to do it right now. We have another one in hand. That other land's not bad. Yeah, we don't have to kill the Jacob right now. We have the option to kill him later if we want. Let's play the Reckless Impulse. Get another Phoenix Trick out here and attack for 5. Now they are going to get a loot off the Hawken, but one loot isn't too devastating with the Hawken. The Hawken. Jacob Hawken, Inspector. Coming to a theater near you. Candle Trap, okay. Phoenix Trick not going to be attacking since it's now his defender. Frees us up to play our experimental synthesizer here. Let's see what we hit off of it. Play with fire. Sure. Aim it at the Jacob. Did not loot in response. Okay. Interesting. Probably gonna play with fire at the end of the turn. We want to have all the mana we can when we hit this synthesizer up for its backside, essentially, which is to create a 2/2 white samurai and also exile the top and see if we can play it. 4 mana, could be a Wandering Emperor. Especially if they pass with mana open. They don't. They play Mirror Hall Mimic. They're going to have it enter as a copy of Etchings of Kumano. Okay, it's basically a removal spell. I think the Scry is valuable. 2 damage trading off anyway. The Ronin is good here. We'll keep the Ronin. Hasty Threat. Worth 2 damage. Let's see if we hit anything off this Frenzy. Yeah, that was the one card we didn't want to see off the Frenzy. Definitely the one card we didn't want to see off the Frenzy there. I can't cast a 3 mana card. Now we have the Ronin in reserve. They have 5 cards in hand. They're at 2 life. Some removal spell would be looking nice here. They have a lot of options though. Voice of the Blessed, okay. That's good with life gain. They're going to dump creatures out. Neither of their creatures have flying. And one of those creatures is going to have to chump block, so I'm just going to swing all out. Well, this one has flying, but they can't block it because otherwise they'd be dead to it. So essentially it doesn't have flying in this scenario. Alright, opponent at 1 life. They're hanging on. Something with lifelink here would be devastating. Anything on in the air with lifelink would be probably game over for us unless we draw a damage spell. Elspeth that can give their creatures lifelink. They have to survive 1 more turn. Let's see what they hit off the minus. Gain 1 life, draw a card. Keeps them alive, keeps them alive. Let's see if we hit off the synthesizer. Cock is on. That should be exactly lethal here. They can only block 1. The other one gets in damage. Good game, opponent. Well played. Okay. Opponent going first. They're deciding whether they want to mulligan or not. In the meantime, our hand's looking pretty good. We have Ronin on 1, Flame Breather on 2, and then Ronin plus spell, either play with fire if we don't draw land, or lightning strike. If we do on 3, it seems like a solid enough game plan. Reinforced Ronin is so good. It doesn't have the spell synergies, but here essentially it's a play with fire that goes back to my hand. And now I can try to attack with it again, or I can cycle it into another card. 1 mana deal 2 damage on turn 1 with upside. Doesn't develop our board, just like play with fire wouldn't there. Would have rather had a Phoenix Trick, one of those 1-drops to start with. Alright. Since we drew the mountain, we're just going to run up this Kessig Flame Breather and set up a big spell turn here coming up. Opponent could have a March or something to exile our Flame Breather. Blue-white also could have a Fading Hope, obviously. Playing an island and just passes, okay. Just passes, huh? Makes me want to play another Flame Breather. And another Ronin. Let's move to attacks. Opponent only at 17 here. Not ideal after turn 3. Opponent's gained 2 life, but really we haven't gotten up to a fast start. We've done some setting up. If our creatures live, we can have big turns. Sarah Paragon's a nice draw for them. I think we're going to kill the Paragon, so we can get in 2 damage here with our creatures and remove the Paragon all at once, because we'd really like to still be able to attack with these Phoenix Chick and the Reinforced Ronin. Still a lot of other burn in hand, so don't feel too bad pointing that burn directly at our opponent. I'm just going to play the Ronin and the Phoenix Chick and have the Lightning Strike up. Definitely could be a Wandering Emperor here. Doesn't look like it's going to be. They're going to siphon essence our haste creature. Have anything for the Phoenix Chick? Could have a Make Disappear, but I would be able to pay. Didn't cast anything that turn cycle besides the Siphon Essence, so they probably have a counterspell that couldn't counter anything when I had 2 mana up, so it could have been a Syncopate, could have been a Make Disappear. Using their blood token. Lightning Strike. No. I think so. The worst we get off our 2 damage if they counter the spell, then we can counter Professional for lethal. Opponent said good game, indicating they might not have a counter spell. Gonna swing in for lethal and see what they have. So Wandering Emperor, we have them with Colin the Professional. Oh. They're helping us out. Let's see if we can do some extra lethal. They have another one? Give me another 5/5. You know you want to. Ooh, lifelink. I'll take it. How about... I'm just going to kill you instead, though. I can't let you kill you. Kill yourself. How about all that damage to the noggin? And there we had Rank Up Burn. I think the deck performed pretty well. It got us a lot of wins in low ladder. And most importantly, it got us through our games quickly, which is, you know, half of the name of the deck. The rank up portion is you not only want to win, but you want to do it quickly to get that rank. And it looks like we did that. The burn was very effective. We won a lot of close games where our reach just got us there. Reckless Impulse was good, and Experimental Synthesizer really showed out, giving us a body as well as cards, just like Reckless Impulse would. It did get us at least once when we got the second half of the Experimental Synthesizer and flipped the Call on the Professionals. But that's going to happen. You're going to lose those die rolls essentially every now and again. But you can usually cast about anything else off the Experimental Frenzy when you hit the backside with 5 mana up, but not when you have a Call on a Professional. We figured that out. Other than that, super cheap deck. Again, no mythic or rare wild cards at all to build this deck, and I think it could really help you climb the ranks. I do want to mention before I end this video that I want to play your decks. You saw me play decks that I make this week. I want to play your decks, so submit your deck ideas down below in the Google Forms. Just an MTG Goldfish link or any other website that you post your deck lists on, tappedout.net, anything of that nature. And I'd love to give you a shout out and play your deck and see how it does through the ranked queue in best of 1 standard. That's all I got for today. And so wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.